Hello, everybody. Give me just a second. I'm like, still have my training thing going for my licensing because I have to renew it. Let's see. Let's see, did I go live? It says I'm live. I'm like, where's my thing? Gosh, get off. Thank you. Stop it. Hang on a second. It's not working with me. There we go. Okay, so I can see if anybody's here. Hi, Amy. Good evening. I'm glad you're here. Right after we talked, I got some info, and it kind of proved right after I talked earlier, and I've been doing my schooling, so I didn't even finish. So forgive me if I shut this down during what I'm about to tell you guys. I was like, okay, I know this part. I've done this before. Screw this. I can't wait any longer. All right. For those of you who know me, forgive me for another introduction, but I'm going to do it. So I'm Juniper Bloom Mystique. Lord knows who I am. I just asked them who I am, and they said I'm one of the gods of time. Okay, so that makes sense as well. But I am a master healer, right? Let me figure out how to explain this the best I can. And I had a major awakening a couple years ago, just like so many people amongst this earth, but mine was major and massive and took me on a path. Watch all my videos. If you're new here and you haven't watched them, I encourage you to watch all my videos. You will get much needed info as to who I am and what I have done. All right. For those of you who do know and are well aware and have attended my workshops, you know the work that I have done. Okay. For those of you who have not, I have done several workshops over this last year, plus other things. Okay. So that's not the only thing I have done. But I've been saying from the beginning that even though it sounds crazy and I can't fathom it myself, I've moved the earth, I've moved the moon, I combined Atlantis, and I combined the Egyptian pyramids, right, with the earth. Woke them up. Ever since I did that, we've had nonstop earthquakes on the earth. Okay, I proved that as well. I've shown that as well, not to panic people, but to show you this stuff is very real. Okay, these things are very, very real. Oh, yay, it stopped. Okay, guys, let me shut this down. Sorry about that. That is my school stuff. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi. Definitely am a master healer. So yes, and that's why I asked him today too, Amy, after I saw all this stuff. I was like, who am I really, right? Okay, you can hear others say master, and I go beyond that, right? Like who can move the earth? Who can do this stuff? Okay. And it was hard for me to grasp myself, let alone expecting everybody else to believe me. And I can, again, hear people telling people I'm crazy. Okay. And it bothers me, but I get it. This is a lot to understand. It is. The first thing I'm going to tell you guys is stop using the moon. I've told you everything is going to change. One of my very first workshops, I started moving the moon. Okay. There's a reason behind that. I also did a lot of time elimination recently. I'm going to show you things that are kind of resonating with this, okay? But so when I have told you guys before that the way we do things is going to change, okay? This is not the end of days, all right? We've talked about that as well. If you're new, please watch all my videos because this is a lot of info to have to rewind and put every step of the way and everything that I've done. I've changed everything. If you are still following astrologists, stop. There's a new way to do things. There's a new way we're going to have to adjust and get to learn where everything is at again. Think of it like the first time they started doing astrology, they kind of mapped out everything, right? They saw where the stars were, the moon was, everything started making sense, and then they go off your birth charts. Forget it. I don't know how much we're going to forget, right? We were all born at certain days and things of that nature. It's all still going to be somewhat relevant, but it's not. Top that off with, how many people do you know right now using the moon? Okay. They're doing full moon healings. They're doing new moon things. I would say stop. Personally, I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch the moon any further. I'm not going to do any work with the moon. Okay. I will show you why. There's actual proof that I've found. So I told you every time I ask Spirit, what can I share? What do we need to know? Why are we feeling so intense? They show me something. And so that's why I'm like, oh, okay, I got to get on. I got to get on. Okay. So I have some awesome, cool stuff to share. I don't like it how it does the screen thing. I don't know why it does that. The actual image is very cool. Okay. So first I'm going to, start off by showing you something. So recently, my latest meditation was about eliminating the false concept of time. Okay. The moon is a false aspect. Okay. At first, I didn't know what I was doing. Again, watch all my videos. For those of you who've done the workshops, you're well aware of the movement and the things that I would do, and then watching things occur in the earth. It was always met with something physical to follow it up by, right? I will tell you still, it's not done. The earthquakes are not done. I feel like everybody's like, oh, she doesn't know what she was talking about. California is safe. California is not safe. Do not get complacent. Okay. I mean, look, Australia is underwater now. You don't know who's going to get hit next and where they're going to get hit, but I will tell you, California is not safe. That's the biggest thing I feel with that one. Okay. So I just had to throw that out there because I feel like people are like, she said this was going to happen and it didn't happen and I shouldn't have to stress about moving. You don't have to, just have an emergency plan, right? Always, because it's not over. So that's that. That is one thing I wanted to throw out there. Please pay attention to your surroundings. Stop using the moon. I don't know if Angela's here right now. Hi, Donita. Hi, Gigi. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad you guys are here. You've got to hear this stuff, okay? If you're just joining in, I haven't really gotten to all the stuff yet, except for a little bit of introduction for those of the people who are new to my channel, who aren't familiar with who I am, or who thought I was crazy, right? Because I've got some proof to show you guys. For those of you who also pay attention, you're well aware the moon hasn't been acting right? And so stop using the moon. That's my biggest thing. Stop using the moon, period. Stop using the moon. I'm still seeing healers, full moon energy, new moon healing. The moon is not what we thought. There's never been a man on the moon, I'll tell you that. There may be aliens there. There's never been a man there. It is a false thing, and it was used to control you. It was used to cut time short. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Okay, so the whole 30-day cycle will change eventually. It's not going to change tomorrow, because if everybody were to wake up too fast, everybody would go insane, right? If everybody were to hear what I said, they still wouldn't believe it, even with the proof I'm about to show you, okay? Because this poor gentleman here that does this channel of the stuff I'm about to show you, he's like going crazy. He sees it. He's a physicist or whatever he is, he's a very smart man. He cusses a lot, so I'll warn you with that. But he's like he's stressed, and people are telling him he doesn't know what he's talking about, which he does, okay, because I did the work. And for a majority, all of you watching already are well aware of the work I've done. Well aware that I've moved the moon several times. I've told you guys the North and South Pole are not going to be where they once were. This is absolutely the case. And this guy that I'm about to show you is going to show proof of that, okay? With all that being said, astrology, I would say don't put a lot of money into right now. As far as moon workshops, I would say it has a more negative pull now than it ever has before. It's not one that I'm going to attach to, okay? Do y'all hear that? I feel like that is a very... Hi there, Roger. You guys are my favorite people. I just love you so much. You guys, you have to know that even though I've been busy, I think about you every moment of every day, each and every one of you. Okay? So I wanted to tell you guys that. You are my family, okay? There goes that funky screen. All right. So I know I'm going fast, but I'm excited. I'm excited because this is proving what I've said, and I want you guys to feel safe. I want you guys to know that not everybody's going to die, right? Because these earthquakes can be scary. You've got places flooding, you've got things happening, and it's devastating to say the least. But everybody, for the most part, is going to be safe, okay? And I want you guys holding space for that. California, however, still is not in the clear, okay? I'll make that clear. I have something else on here that you can see as well. They're still predicting a 9.0 magnitude roughly possibility coming by the end of this month for California. So just don't get complacent. Okay. That's all I'm asking you guys to do is don't get complacent. Don't think it's over until it's over, right? Until we see no more activity for a long experience, an extended period of time. Okay. So that's my feeling on the earthquakes. There's some people out there spreading false information on what they were. I will tell you exactly why we're having earthquakes. Okay. When I shifted the earth as much as I did, okay, and if you're new here and you don't believe me, just buckle up, Buttercup, because there's all kinds of proof. Okay. Talk to the people who've done my workshops. You're welcome to buy my workshops for all the proof in the world. However, oh, Amy, I still going to give you that coupon too. However, the reason we're having the earthquakes is because we've expanded her, we've shifted her, we moved her from her normal axis. I've moved the moon in such a way, and there is proof of this now, okay? It's not just me saying it, okay? People are seeing it. Scientists are now seeing it, okay? And the ones who are paying attention are seeing it, and they're going, huh, what happened, okay? I know what happened, and I know what's coming. So the earthquakes were caused, they're all along the fault lines, right? And some that aren't, right? They're a little different, okay? They're not normal earthquakes that we're all used to seeing. And it's because the tectonic plates are still shifting. We're still changing in time with the earth. Hello, that's hence my workshop on eliminating the false concept of time. If you haven't done that because it scares you, it's not that I'm eliminating life, I'm eliminating the false pull, okay? And that's what the moon has done. It was such a placement and such a way to create a false negative time frame on our lives, okay? It was part of helping to constrict movement, 30-day cycle, controlling when people have babies. Like, we're going to come into such a place where women are going to say, I want a baby now. It doesn't matter what time of the month, and they're going to be able to have a baby. Okay, just wait. That's in the future. That's not tomorrow. That's not a year from now. It's probably more likely as we evolve a little bit further, all right, with mentality of the human population. Okay, everybody with me so far? This is a lot. And I'm going really, really, yeah, Roger, you better get out of California, right? Right? I'm just saying, like, it's no joke. There is no life going to California, you guys. I've told you that before. We cut off all life support. Mount Shasta was very, very dirty. It all became so very corrupt. There's a lot of dirty there, okay? And so that's what's happening. As far as the whole thing going away, I don't know, right? Just have a plan. That's all I would say. Just have an emergency plan. The moment you feel a big one, hightail it the frick out of there. Get out of the buildings, hightail it out of there, because then you're going to beat the tsunami, right? That would be, I don't know if you got to run, but have your plan. Okay, like, I'm going to go here, like, have a plan. You have time. You're ahead of the game because of everything else. Okay, and if you leave and all of California doesn't go anywhere, then maybe you can go back somewhere else there, right? But I would give it time. I would just tell you that it's not over until it's over. Okay, and so I will show you a little bit here within my history. All right, there's high magnitude earthquakes still being predicted, right? California had a bigger one today, right? It was all calm. There hadn't been any in a while. A lot of the reporters were even saying, wow, this was not expected. It's going out further than what we expected. Okay, I changed time. That's not a joke, and I'll have proof of that as well. Okay, around the time that I did the time change, I'm going to start there before I show you the moon thing. Okay, look at this. Is our moon supposed to flip 180 degrees wax to wane nightly like it is? Okay, do you hear that? All right. This guy knows what he's talking about. I'm going to show you this video. Okay, I've been saying for a while to that one guy, the moon's not normal. And he'd be like, oh, it does that. No. Please stop using the moon energy. I wish Angela was on right now. She feels it big time. It's a negative energy. Okay, hear me when I tell you this. The moon is a negative energy. I only used it for those workshops so I could change it. Okay, do you understand? I know that now. The moon is a negative pull. Like, I don't know about in our lifetimes, but eventually the moon is going to not exist anymore. Okay. And it's going to be probably our kids or our grandkids' lifetimes. It is not a necessity. It has nothing to do with the reality of our solar system, not our moon. Okay. It was a falsehood. And if you don't believe me, that's okay. I guarantee you, if you keep trying to use energy with it, you might not have good outcomes. Okay. Personally, if you know anybody who's using the moon, you don't have to argue with them, but I wouldn't join in. That's all I can say about that. Because again, if you tell most people this that aren't aware of who I am, didn't do my workshops, just coming on, they might say we're crazy. This guy's having it too. Everybody's telling him, you don't know what you're talking about. I wish I could reach out to him and tell him, yes, you do. Don't worry. I could show you what I did. Okay. Backtrack, because there's a couple things here and I'm really excited. So I'm sorry, you guys, if it's a little sporadic. I get excited and I miss you guys. I haven't been on in a little bit. Oh, and I got a new deck too. So I'll pull a card from that. And it's brand new, just released. So not everybody has this deck yet. And I have oil on my hands. Okay. And there's this one where he's like, I hope you're getting the picture. This is not a game. Okay. But you guys, it's not the end of the world. But we're all being affected, especially for those of us who did my workshops. We're ahead of the game. We're very in tune to the energies. The Egyptian energies now are very much so active and becoming part of our reality again, as well as Atlantis. This is no joke. It's true. There are people now who are tuning in and seeing the work that I've done with the crystals, with the earth, that had no idea who I was. And so when I see that, I'm like, oh, wow, like this is very real. So I just want to share with you guys some really cool things. This one, let's see, what day did I do the workshop? I don't know. What day did I do the workshop for the time thing? These powerful moons that are coming up are negative. Yes, Roger. Yes, see, Amy's like, the moon is up and gone before it's dark here lately. Yeah, it's rising and setting in different places, you guys. It's doing weird things, okay? It is a negative pull. It was designed in such a way, okay, I'll show you a video on that. I'll put a link with a video on that one as well when I find it. It's that people who they channel Ashtar, right? I've played the videos for you before. It's way down in my history. Okay, I've watched it. They talk about the moon and what the moon really was. Okay. And so if I really get into it, it's like an alien base is what they say. When I was in tune with the moon, I could tell you no man has ever stepped foot. So when they talk about the man on the moon, kiss my ass. That is a lie. It is an absolute lie. The moon is very negative. It was designed to keep our lives short, right? Gigi's like, breathe. I'm like, but it's so exciting. But the moon is designed to keep our life short. It would determine and dictate when we could have babies, right? Your moon cycle. Our women started going with the moon cycle. A lot of psychics and everybody thought it was such a positive thing. And we became in such a way where we became moon dependent, you guys. And I would say don't do it anymore. Okay. It is not a good energy. It is a very negative pull. It's a falsehood, especially now, because I've separated that pull that it had on us. Does that make sense, you guys? Because for those of you who've seen all of my workshops, my very first one, I lassoed it and pulled it. Even to the last one, I lassoed again and pulled it. Now they're seeing the earth do flip, the moon do flips all night long. Okay. So there's two parts to this one. It's about the time that I did, the change in time. It was actually shown around the same time I did that meditation. He's like, all data missing. In this video, there is chunks of 4 hours missing around the same time frame that I did that. Okay, so that's where we're going to start. He talks about what's going on with the earth. You guys are well in tune with that. It's going to explain some of your symptoms, okay?
Day, folks, March 19th, 2021, 1:30 p.m. Central here in the U.S. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world, folks. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Well, as we would have guessed, the backside of our planet being this little ball here, the white part being the sun-facing side, the black part being the opposite side of the sun, is being bombarded from behind. Now, there are no planets lined up behind us, which I will show you in a bit, but this is some serious pressure off the charts with no bow shock, no space weather whatsoever, no solar winds, no plasma, but something's hitting the backside of this planet with tremendous force. And this must be what's causing these Schumann spikes. At this point, we're going to have to call this.
I don't know if you guys are well aware of the Schumann resonance. That guy talks about the Schumann resonance, like energy spikes. That is something I will get into on another time. But they're talking about a blackout with that.
Fact. Look at the density of the air behind planet Earth here. Nothing in front of us. No solar weather, no nothing. We're about to see that winds are speeding by planet Earth in the same direction as our sun at 1.4 million miles an hour. That's right, folks, 1.4 million miles an hour. Let's continue. Why is it so dense behind the planet? We're moving to the left at 67,000 miles an hour, according to mainstream science, and the sun's pulling us through the galaxy, our solar system, at 422,000 miles an hour. Using planet Earth as a constant here, you see these green winds here. Well, those are in between 500 and 600 kilometers an hour, and they're going in the left, to the left, or past the Earth. These negative winds are what you always see associated with space weather. They're hitting the bow, and obviously they're negative because they're hitting against the planet. Now, these green and blue winds that we see constantly bombarding the backside of the planet here, well, they're doing approximately 1.2 to 1.4 million miles an hour past our planet. Please remember, you see them? Please remember that our planet's only moving at 67,000 miles an hour. You take 600 kilometers per second and translate it to miles per hour, you're going to find out that's 1.4 million miles an hour using Earth as a constant. What could be possibly causing these winds? I just cannot. This is solar wind velocity we're looking at here. I cannot explain it from anything and everything I have looked into. Going over to NASA's ISWA, folks, we've got
all of this isn't necessary to understand other than it's not normal, right? And it kind of correlates with all the earthquakes, with all the strange weather going on everywhere. Here it is springtime and we just got met with winter. It's still snowing here. Okay, so just keep watching because he's going to go into the time.
A lot of problems. I just went through it and it's a nightmare. You can see that there's no pressure here in front of the planet that's moving to the right at approximately 67,000 miles an hour. There's a lot more problems than that, though, folks. We're going to go into them right now. We've got most of the day is missing. Good
Okay.
times as you.
Did you guys just hear what he said? Most of the day was missing. Okay. Keep watching.
All right. We see that all these winds are pushing back at the planet. The less pressure is in front of the planet. Very, very strange indeed. Okay, here we go.
Did you see that?
8:58. There's 4 hours and 9 minutes missing. What is up with these 4-hour periods? Well, it just is about to get worse. We can see that at 8:58, all the air is shortened or about to change direction and push back at the planet. So what do? They just erase the data. That's it. 4 hours and 9 minutes. It gets much worse.
They're not erasing data.
That's possible, right? So as we move on throughout the day, we see the incredible pressure around the entire planet on NASA's ISWA. And there's a battle going on for sure for the direction of these solar winds. It gets real bad here soon, folks. Please notice all of the solar winds trying to fight their way through here, or winds. I won't call them solar winds. This is solar wind velocity. Whatever had the power to change the direction of these winds scares me. Let's continue. It gets terrible.
Please don't be scared of me.
They remove all of the day. So you can see the arrows start to turn 1600, 1650, still a battle. It took 30 minutes out right here. Look,
30
all the
minutes
arrows were
gone.
short as they were about to turn back towards the planet, and they removed 30 minutes, but we still have arrows pointing back at the planet, and it gets much, much worse. That's just the beginning of the nightmare.
His theory is somebody in science world is watching this and removing moments in time in the data. Now, I would tell you that he's wrong on that aspect, but he doesn't know me. He doesn't know what's going on. This guy is all science-based. So I would like to see proof, because I guarantee you it has to do with the work that we've been doing.
All right. Please notice all of the solar winds pointing back at the planet here. Wait till you see what's about to happen. It is terrible. I won't even use the word epic because it's terrible.
It's not terrible.
All right.
I don't think so.
So we still have a lot of pressure on that backside of the sun, as you can see. And this is when the trickery really starts here, folks. And I do mean trickery dickory dock.
This guy's an old stoner, okay? He cracks me up. But he's also sciencey.
All right, here we go. Everybody ready? It's going to get crazy here.
Oh, sorry. Commercial. Paid creators. I don't have that issue.
All right, it was. So at 21 seconds UTC time, you can see the arrows are starting to shorten. They're going to change direction. And so they remove 2 hours and 30 minutes. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Now, as soon as they do that, they don't like what they see again. The very next frame, they remove 4 hours and 2 minutes. Everything looks fine now, right? 4 hours and 2 minutes later, 4 hours and 3 minutes.
There are no coincidences, okay? The work that I've done, the thing about time, the moon was part of the false aspect of time, okay? Keep watching.
Now wait, the very next frame from 6:31, what? Yes, 4 hours and 1 minute again. 4 hours and 1 minute. What is happening in these 4 hour increments that they are erasing and refusing to show the public? Okay. Then.
Okay, so that was my point with that one, okay? March 3rd was the last workshop with the pyramids. March 18th was the DNA act. Oh, shit. Okay. So the 18th was the DNA activation, Amy. And this was what time? The 18th and the 19th. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you really think somebody said maybe they did erase those moments in time, but I highly doubt it. Okay. It's no coincidence that what I did lines up with those. Okay. So that's just a little proof on the time aspect, okay? Let's go into the moon, all right? This is the one I found with the moon.
It's Mr. Face made for radio.
I'm going to cuss. I'm going to warn you. He cusses a lot in this one because there's a lot of people right now telling him he's crazy that watch him. All of you who've been to my workshops know he's not crazy, okay? So just watch. It's a little rough, but I want you to watch this thing because he explains to you what's happening.
You come up with about 6.29 degrees. That is how much the moon moves in its orbit every 12 hours, every night. Because we've got people out there saying the field rotation, and it's just like a plane flying by your head. You see the front of it, and then you see the back of it. Number one, it did not cartwheel, and if it ever did, that plane would end up in a ball of fucking fire. Number two, the moon does not go halfway across its fucking orbit every night in front of your face. What you want to do is park that thing and do circles, spin beside it. Does it flip? Does anything in the room flip? No. Now, pretending the Earth, and this here is our ecliptic, here's Earth on a 23-degree angle to it. You'll be wanting to spin at about a 23-degree angle and notice it. Yeah, you only get about 7.7 to 8 degrees libration every time you come around your ball that's sitting on your table. Now, if you're a real stickler, about halfway down through your sweep, you might want to have your husband or wife or kid move your ball about 6.24 degrees just to make sure that little tiny movement's not making the fucking moon do this shit.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
it's all you.
That's funny.
Now, instead of Earth rotating like this, we tilt it and we
Yep.
rotate like this. Here's a very simple way to prove that to yourself.
Did you hear what he just said? I told you guys a long time ago, one of my middle workshops, the Earth is no longer where it was. Okay. I was waiting for proof of that.
Pretend now, instead of moving like this, you're going to move like this. Yeah, that's right. Simply bend over and watch the table and the fucking room and the fucking moon and the sun and the sunspots and Jupiter flip its planets around, like all this footage we've got, and the moon in our sky moving this crescent from one side to the other every night.
Every night. Okay. So remember, it used to do that in a month cycle. Okay. And he'll show you that too.
Don't worry, I've got some easier stuff lined up.
Waxing crescent.
Right side lit, north hemisphere.
First quarter.
Also, right side lit, northern hemisphere.
Waxing gibbous.
How's waning? We got a waning moon now. Because the left side's lit,
Waning
northern
crescent.
hemisphere. And then they go to the full. You don't see it flipping. They don't tell you it's going to flip ever.
Between the Earth and Sun. And finally, the Moon finishes its journey in about 29.5 days and comes back between the Earth and Sun.
Notice
to
how
its
there's
new
29.5 days it takes to see the light on the other side. So you will see it on both sides, but it takes a month. Okay, that's what it used to do all the way up until I happened.
side
moon
specific.
phase, marking the completion of the lunar cycle, just to start over again.
Here's the alignment of new moon. And here's what new moon looks like from Earth. And yes, it is very hard. The
This
moon
guy cracks
travels
me up.
roughly 13 degrees
I
in
love
24
characters.
hours. So after roughly 3.5 days, the moon has moved 40.
You hear that? 13 degrees in 24 hours. You're only looking at it for 12 of those 24 hours. Therefore, it only moves about 6.24 fucking degrees every night. Oh,
That's all it used
I
to
do
move.
know, man.
35 degrees and is at waxing crescent. Here's the alignment. Waxing means that the sunlight is getting larger and crescent is the shape. And here's what it looks like. In 7 days, the moon has now traveled 90 degrees and is at first quarter. Here's the alignment.
Listen to this.
Remember, the sunlight is always on the right in first quarter. I remember to be first, you must be right.
To be
And the light.
first, you must be right. Dude, these are all old sayings.
Yep. That's how it always
It's
would
not
happen.
supposed to be right lit and then left side lit later at night. And that is exactly what we're seeing.
Every night.
I don't know who told you this thing's supposed to be doing cartwheels. The man in the moon is very famous for not doing cartwheels.
Because it reflects the light from the sun. The part of the moon facing the sun is always lit up, and the part facing away from the sun is in darkness. So, it is like a torchlight falling on one side of a soccer ball.
Just like the fucking working model I keep screaming you can make at home. Put these two items on a table and spin. Now bend over. There you go. Okay, if you feel like it, pick up the ball and spin it. Does the shadow move?
He's funny.
This is one I've used before. It's actually not a children's video. I know there's some adults out there running around claiming not to know if the moon's supposed to be doing a fucking cartwheel every night. So we have to
Stressing him
do
out.
stupid shit like this.
I feel bad for this guy. I want to call him.
I've actually got friends of mine that their family doesn't know if the moon's supposed to do a cartwheel or not. Are you kidding me?
This is
And they
actually a
don't know
big
what it
deal.
means.
A lot of people aren't aware
And
what the
obviously,
moon is supposed
oh
to
my
do.
God. Anyways, here we go.
Tonight we have a beautiful big bright moon framed by the pinnacles. And because it's so close to Earth, it's by far the easiest thing for us to see. And we don't need any special equipment to see it either. Your own eyes will do
Your
just
own
fine.
eyes will do just fine.
Prizes for recognising this as the moon. But you might spot that something seems not quite right about it.
Yeah, it does. Tycho Crater's over here.
Compare this picture, taken from the UK, with my Australian view.
Oh, uh-oh.
You can instantly see that the moon's a different shape. The
Yeah.
shadow is on the other side.
Watch, he's going to show you
But
a
that's not
GoPro
all. Look
demonstration.
more closely at the patterns on the surface.
You should never forget.
The big dark area on the left of the moon is the Sea of Tranquility. It's the place where Apollo 11 landed.
Bullshit.
The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a
Lion
bunch
sacks
guys
of
about
craps.
to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
Inside. That's because the moon you see is the other way up from ours.
Oh, see, it's
So
not
how is
supposed
that?
to do that at night.
Everyone on Earth is seeing the same moon at the same time.
You see that? That's what your
That's
fucking
because the
moon's
moon
doing in
is
your sky
the other
every
way up
night,
from
right there.
ours.
Boom.
Every night
So
now.
how is
Every
that?
night. And you missed it for 10 years.
Everyone
You know,
on Earth
cuneiform,
is seeing the same
Bible
moon at the
canon.
same time. We see
Says that that lasts 10 years, about 10 years, 5 months. That's what Bible Canon says, and that says when the Earth's axis, because we used to spin like that in one direction, not back and forth. One direction. I can't make my wrist go all the way around. In 23 degrees. We tilted 66.6 degrees. Yeah, that magic number, right? Do the math. 90 degrees. We oppose the ecliptic. That's why your star map is running like this now. Instead of like that. It's running fucking just like that on your star maps. That's because your center of your fucking solar system's just straight up from you now. Instead of across like this. Are you getting the picture? We laid down. Now, the reason Tycho Crater's at 3 o'clock is because we come up north of the planet at night. And in the morning, we're coming down into the sun at the bottom of the planet. We still spin east to west, same direction. We just tilt it. It's fucking simple. Now this guy's going to go from
Simple, but not.
north to south on the planet and show you what happens. Going east to west on the planet never does what he's fixing to show you.
If you imagine that my face is the moon, the view from this camera shows how you'd see it from the UK. The right way up. And if we travel from the UK to Australia, we're going to go around the curve of the Earth. Until
See that?
maybe I look a little.
It used to be only possible to see the moon do that in your fucking sky every night, like he just showed you the little fucking tilty thing he did there. in a Concorde jet. from New
Only if
York
you
to
flew
fucking
around
Sydney.
the earth.
Now you can do it on your front porch.
Now you can watch
And
the
here's a
moon
simple
do
matter of fact. You can't believe me. This shit is fucking insane.
it. Yep.
You got to go to the videos page right here, hit my oldest tab, and begin at the first one. The third one is going to show you
Here we go.
with golf
Now,
balls.
this is what we're seeing when we look at this little chart.
Oops.
What Eric
You're gonna learn
is saying,
more.
thank you to the subscriber like this.
Okay.
What a helpful.
Okay, so I don't think we need any more of that. So you guys see what I'm saying? It is really interesting. Yes, and I did say that. So you guys, this is like, it's very real. Okay, it is very real, the work that I've done. But now we've got the proof to go with it. I mean, look at this is what your moon is doing every night now. Do not do workshops that involve the moon anymore. Okay, the only reason I did was to take the negative pull away from the moon. Do you understand? Seriously, we don't need the moon. It is a false concept. Okay, it was designed for control. So the only way they were ever on the moon was to use it to manipulate you, which I don't think they ever landed on the moon. According to another video by that Ashtar guy who channels Ashtar, it's like a alien, basically like an alien spaceship, I suppose. It was designed to control people. Okay, that's just the way it is. I didn't get all of this right until I fully came into my higher self and understand who I was. And again, all my videos kind of depict all of my process, but it's very real. I can't deny it. I've tried to make myself be normal. I've tried to feel normal. Hell, I'm going back to work to get these kiddos to come through. You know, this is big. And I've said that before, it's bigger than us, right? And that guy who was all into astronomy kept arguing with me, telling me I was wrong. And so it's really nice now to have the proof. It's really nice now to have things line up. I mean, there are no coincidences. There's moments in time missing in the solar hemisphere, whatever you want to call that, whatever they do. There's moments in time missing in the direct correlation of when I did my very last workshop. Okay. When I tell you things are different, believe it. Okay. Astrology is now different. What did he say? Our earth is now more like this, where it used to be like this. Okay. And I've said that before in another workshop. Okay. It's not going to be the same. So I will encourage you to stay away from full moon and new moon workshops. Okay. And I honestly, I wouldn't touch them at all. They were good for pulling out shadow side. You can manifest it anytime you want. Let go of everything you once thought about the moon. Okay. It is a negative pull. That's why we are sensitive to it. It was designed that way intentionally. Okay. And I wish Angela was watching, because she's even mentioned how she doesn't feel good with the moon, right? She's very sensitive to it. There's a reason for that. Okay. And if the moon is doing flips every night while we sleep, what the hell do you think the earth is doing right now? It is shooting through space right now. It's shooting through the energy, the atmosphere. It's because I've told you, we've changed her. We've expanded her. It's not over till it's over. Okay. The shift is still occurring. It's not complete yet. And I feel the angst with, why the hell hasn't something happened? You know, us light workers need something, and it's coming. Okay. It's coming. I promise you guys that it is absolutely coming. You know, the shift with the presidency, it's coming. We just have to realize it's not in our time. It's in whose time? Spiritual time. And you guys are going to see more and more as we go, that time is going to change. Okay. That's why I did the workshop for eliminating the false concept of time. It's all making sense now. And this guy cracks me up. I wish I could message him and tell him, dude, you're not crazy. Because in another one of his videos, he's like, I'm not fucking crazy. Like, okay. He's like, this is not a game. And I wish I could tell him, you're not crazy. Like, I have more proof for you. He's like, whatever did this is scary. And if you look at it from that sense without knowing, because he doesn't know. And if you look at it from the sense of the Bible, it's very scary, right? But those things were designed to make people afraid. However, don't get complacent. Be very mindful of your surroundings, okay? Where are the fault lines? Pay attention to those, all right? Remember though, I healed certain areas, right? I healed Mount Rainier. I healed what was it, Mount Vesuvius, I think it was. And so why would I do that if everything's gonna be okay? And I'm not lying to you when I tell you the darkness is coming out of people. Be careful who you anchor into. There was somebody in our group that I had to cut off, okay? Be very aware of who you're paying attention to, who you're following, who you're listening to, and what you anchor your energy into. That's not to say that every light worker is going to lead you down a dark area, but I would definitely avoid paying too much attention to astrology right now until everybody wakes up further, okay? I would avoid working with the moon forever. All right. And that is what's up. It's a falsehood and it's being eliminated from our reality as far as the pull and as far as the alignment of time. Does this make sense to everybody? Let me see if I can click on that and see the comments. Yes. 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 See? Yes. See, Gigi's like, I remember you tilted the earth in one of your workshops. So I did it several times. The very first one I did, I lassoed the moon and pulled it towards the moon. Okay. Like I pulled it towards the moon. That was the very first workshop I did. It was on Facebook. I still didn't know what I was doing. I was still under the wing of who was supposed to be my mentor, who ended up being very dark. And I was like, what do I do? And it was my very first workshop. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So I'm not sure if any of you guys were with me. But I had some other people with me from my old group. So Renee was one of them, and there were some other people. So there was witnesses to that one too. That one wasn't recorded, but I actually have the paperwork on it, and I read it on one of my videos to you guys, okay? It was all about moving the moon. It started with that, and it ended with that, and I rotated the earth, and we've expanded the earth, and I know it's hard to understand. It really is hard to fathom, especially if you're not awake. Which is why I didn't have a large following. I probably would have blown too many minds, right? Let alone my own. But the fact that there's proof now, right? The fact that there's proof now is mind-blowing to me. Like, I'm so excited about that, okay? And so I feel like Gigi and everybody who is sensitive to the moon, that will get better. Oh, thank you, Donita. Yes, it is good info. I'll be coming on too, and I'm going to do a guided meditation in the morning. The new job is going well. I have to get my licensing back up because I let it go over this last year. I would not have been able to do it, and I see that now. But I have this opportunity, and so that's what that thing was you saw when you came on. For those who came on with me right away, is I have to just do my licensing really quick. And then after the licensing thing is done this week, I will have a gap of freedom again, complete freedom, where I'm with you guys until I get that scheduled and going through. So it's going well. It's a little bit of a fast and then slow process getting going. And so I do apologize that I've been a little bit absent. I'm going to do my best to always come on as much as I can. But I feel like be careful with focusing on that concept of time. Okay, because the false concept of time, not life. Okay, I am not a God or anybody who comes down and takes away life. That's not what we're here to do. We're actually here to save it. We're actually here to bring about, like my one video said, as above, so below. Okay, and that way all those really, really dark energies, like Biden. Now he's like, oh, tax hike. Oh, we're taking away your guns. Now people can see who he really was going forward before they eliminate him. All right. But you understand, it's like things had to change. Okay. We are eliminating the false concept of time to bring about a new one, to expand the lifespans, to bring true beauty into our world. Okay. And so not only is this a lot to understand, but we're feeling it. All right. And so there goes that Schumann resonance, right? So that's what the guy that I posted on here, he talks about the Schumann resonance. See that's, I don't want to click on it because then it goes to him, but you can see this is talked about a lot. Okay. Now he talks about the 3 days of darkness where it could possibly be a full blackout on Earth. I don't fully know. Okay. If that happens, you'll be fine. But as far as the Schumann resonance going, they are predicting that. There's been huge spikes. There's supposed to be like a blackout with a Schumann resonance coming, and that's what he talks about the event is. Okay. Other people have talked about it too. We may go blackout to while they remove the darkness. All right. I know that's kind of weird. And it is sci-fi, right? It is Star Wars-y. Boom, boom, I've got the Force, right? And so do some of you. See, Gigi, good. It made me feel better too. And that's why I was so excited to share it. It's like, I know it's scary, and I know we all didn't know what I was doing in the beginning, right? Because then maybe none of us would have done it. I've told you guys that before too. It's like, if we really knew some of it, we would have probably backed out. But when you get the full picture of it all, it's a blessing. It was coming either way. If we didn't do this work, they informed me, it would have been no more. Okay. It is in the Bible. It really, truly is biblical. Again, I don't know who I am. They're saying now I'm part of the gods of time, which kind of makes sense. Hello, it kind of does make sense to me now. I'm like, oh shit, that makes sense. And it's crazy, but now we have scientific proof. Now we've got some proof. I mean, follow the moon, what to do the spins at night, which it's never done before. You used to have to fly in a jet in order to see it do that, or go upside down with your body, you know, and now you can actually see the moon flipping and things changing, and the earth going nuts with earthquakes, right? Because like that one said, high magnitudes still are predicted from the 25th on now. And again, stop focusing on normal time frames. It's in spirit's time. It's in the new time zone, which things are coming slower. Okay. And so when I tell you that I see changes in tides coming in through San Francisco, and it didn't happen that week or the next week, doesn't mean it's not coming. Okay. It's just what it is. That stuff's been predicted for many, many years. This guy also talks about Egypt. On his channel, he talks about Egypt and how, what did I tell you I did? I woke up the pyramids. Okay, so it's not a coincidence that he's talking about that with this, that it was depicted with the Egyptian hieroglyphs and things like that as well. It's very real. It's very beautiful. And you guys are on the front line, okay? And that's a blessing. It's not a curse. And so I don't want you guys to feel that it is. Getting rid of darkness is not a curse. It's a blessing, right? Being a part of God's work is not a curse. It's a blessing. And so that's how we really should look at it. There is proof now to everything that I've said. I pray every day that the earth calms down. Yes, I do, right? And still I'm holding space for we're not hearing these horrible, tragic stories. That is a blessing to me as well. Okay. And it's only designed to eliminate what needs to be eliminated. Now, Roger and everybody else, we're all well aware. Okay. You didn't follow me and find me for no reason at all. Okay. There's absolute purpose behind it. All right. And it's a beautiful thing. You have a heads up. You know what's going on, what's coming. Michael Jaco is telling people a little bit of false, like not everybody gets it. It's a lot to fathom. Okay. So just be mindful of who you're following, what you're focusing in on, and where you're putting your energy. Okay. You know, there was things I had put out before. You've got to not anchor into the wrong people. You've got to not anchor into darkness. And I can't help the fact that some people still chose to do so. Okay. But I will protect my group. All right. And so that's what happened with the Patreon. I had to remove some darkness. Oh, Gigi, I just said Egypt and she got ringing in her hair. Didn't I tell you you had Egyptian in your past? One of you did. I'm sure you do. Oh, yeah. And Donita's like, I remember those. See, you guys, all of these guys are my buddies. Roger didn't do any of my workshops, but I think Amy, Gigi, Donita, all of you have. And so my whole point of this is it's still hard to fathom. And there's still so many people going, this isn't real. She said this and it didn't happen. Yes, I'm a psychic. I'm highly in tuned. And if I say something's coming, it could still come months from now. Do you understand? The best thing to do is to have a plan. Okay. That's it. Just have a plan, because what do big earthquakes cause? The two biggest things is structures to fall, which is what becomes most dangerous, and then tsunamis. Okay, once the earthquake hits, you have a little bit of time in between for the tsunami, but you better have a plan. You know what I'm saying? We all need to. Okay, I don't feel like Yosemite is going to go, but I've seen some things about an uptick in earthquakes there. Okay, I saw land going underwater. It's now happening in Australia. It's happened in the Congo, I believe it was, which is in Africa. It's like happening in different places, Brazil. Okay, it's very real and it's still happening. Okay, we're not through it all the way yet, but it's beautiful. And there's really nothing to be afraid of. Okay, yeah, just make sure you're not following the wrong things. Stay away from the moon. It's done. Okay. We had a lot of false information about what the moon was and what we could use it for. I mean, how many psychics do you know? How many healers do you know that have used the moon? The only reason I did was to eliminate it. I know that now. But before that, I remember, was it Roger? Somebody asked me about moon rituals. And when I tune into that, they're like, blah. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need them. Okay. And so it's true. You can do things without the moon. Do them on your time when you feel good to do them. Manifest when you feel good. If your energy is up, that's the time you manifest. If your energy is down or your emotions are down, that's the time you make sure you're cleansing your thoughts. Do you understand? All right. And so just, that's my biggest thing I can say today and tonight is, be careful again who you're anchoring into, you guys. Straight up, I had to eliminate somebody from our group. It's sad. And I kept saying, be careful who you anchor into. Okay. And it is what it is. You've just got to be really careful. Be really mindful, because I'm not lying to you when I tell you darkness is risen. Okay. There was a shooting here. What was it? A day ago, 10 people died and he was like 21 years old. Okay. And then now you're going to start seeing who Biden really was before he's taken out. So he's eliminating guns. They're going to take their guns away. That was their whole purpose there. It's just time that others are starting to wake up, but it's going to be a process. So if everybody woke up too fast, they'd go insane. How many people can understand what I say? It took me a long time. I feel like I went insane. Like, can't I just be normal? I'm going to go back in time and just laugh. It's nuts. So I'm going to pull a few cards, okay? I'm going to do that and see what's kind of coming our way. I'm still hearing a fiery climax approaches. I think when I say that stuff, some people might go, well, why didn't it happen already? What are you focusing on? False time? Whose time is it that you're saying it should have happened in, right? I tend to lean towards, if everything else I've done is being shown proven, I'd listen to what I say. Okay. All right. So let's see what the cards have to say and what's coming forward. And I've been literally working all day. I cut off my classes early so I can come on and show you guys this. So in the morning, I'm going to do a guided meditation before I do more work. Okay. That's my plan. Because I feel like it's needed. It is needed. And it's not done. Be mindful. Also, still have your backup, like food, whatever you might need just in cases. Okay. That doesn't mean to be afraid. Never be afraid. But when I had said on Facebook prior to my leaving, there is a chance for darkness. There still is. Okay. And it might be sporadic. It might not be the whole globe at once. We don't know. We just don't know. Okay. All we can do is know that shit's real. Changes could come, and to be ready. That doesn't mean have a shelter. It doesn't mean go live underground. Hell, you may break apart if you go underground. That's not funny, but it is. All right. So yeah, anytime I get proof, I get really excited just because it's a lot. And I've even questioned my own sanity because again, I can still hear people doing that towards me. And that poor guy, this poor guy on one of his videos, he talks about, I'm not crazy. This is effing real. And I've got science. And the poor guy, like, I really feel bad for him. I wish I could call him and say, dude, I have proof that what you're saying is real. All right. These are beautiful. All right. So these are the 3 cards that I pulled for what we need to know coming forth. Okay. And then I'm going to pull a couple from my new deck. This one is 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. Now, the reason, okay, so Gabriel is standing out to me. He is a messenger of God. He is what I would want to call like a right-hand man of God. Okay, so there's very much so, what this is really telling me is you're fully supported, okay? Be mindful of not speaking your truth. Be mindful of lies that are around us and make sure that you are loving the chakra, right? Don't be afraid to use your voice. If others can't hear, that's not on you. Do you understand? And be careful, they're also saying, with what you say to yourself right now, because you are creating your reality. So as the Bible depicts, it's Judgment Day. Now, what I've told you guys, it's not what they've depicted in the Bible. It's all karma based. So we want to be careful going forward that we're not creating a situation we won't like by our words. Okay. And so I was presented with that as well, because I am powerful, right? Amy, I know you guys are all very powerful that have worked with me. So we just have to be careful, they're saying, of where our words go and what we're telling ourselves. Okay. As well as don't force, like if people aren't hearing you, the best you've done is planted a seed and you just need to back off. Okay. Also be careful because darkness is rising. So if anybody anchored into something, there's not much we can do. Okay, unless there is, and you'll know. Then the other one was this one, 44. And so with the Gabriel card is telling me God's support. Okay, that's what I was hearing in that one, is we're very much so being supported and guided and protected. Okay, we really are. And so just don't get complacent, like, oh, it didn't happen already. Okay, we never know when things may happen. We just don't know, okay? But we're being protected and guided. So if something tells you to move, move. Don't wait, because we don't know when. If something tells you don't move, then don't. That's okay. That's what you're supposed to do. And then again, the numbers 4 and 4 here standing out to me, which is also more support from our angels and guides, okay? And love, a woman holding her heart. The best thing we can do, like Gigi would say, the highest vibration is love, okay? As much as we can, anchor into love, okay? And so I was really hurt by somebody, that I've had to let go, and they didn't pay for things, and it hurt, but it's not, I can't take it personal. And so what Spirit told me is shine love into it. So no matter what, that's all we can do. That does not mean lower your boundaries. Do you hear me? That does not mean anchor into anything. That means fill that shit with as much love as you can for yourself first, okay, which will spill over and cut any negative ties. Do you understand? All right. Very beautiful cards, very beautiful messages. Hopefully you guys can see those. And then the last one I pulled from that deck was Angel of Strength. We've got to be strong going through this, okay? If we get all scared, we may miss the mark. And fear does what? Fear takes us into what we're afraid of. That goes with that whole throat card. Be careful with where we put our voice. Be careful with what we're telling ourselves, because you don't want to create a reality where things that you don't want to happen are going to happen either. Okay, so we've got to be strong going through this. That's not a joke, right? Like that one guy says, where'd he go? The Schumann resonance guy. I never remember his name, but I shared his video on here before. I like him. He's very in tune with the energies that I've played with and brought forth. What was I saying? He has talked about the best thing that we can do right now is be strong and focus on our health. Okay? Have to. That's the way we get through this rising above it. Does that make sense? Okay? So focus on strength. Don't be afraid. Roger, you could look at it as a beautiful opportunity to get out of a nasty place that's very low in vibration and start something new and meet your future wife and have all this beauty. Angela, you guys, ooh, 9:44. See, there's no coincidence there. Angela, I mentioned you a couple times. Can somebody, yeah, I want you to watch this video again, Angela, okay? Let me know you're going to, because it's very informational, and you were popping in my head even this morning. I told Pamela that too, because there's something you need to hear here, okay? And it's regarding the moon, but I don't want to go back into the whole thing. So rewatch the video. All right, and so very beautiful messages. Now I'm going to pull from my new deck, you guys, which is the Shaman's Dream Oracle. It's brand new. It just came out today, just released today. And I pre-ordered it, so I was able to get my hands on it. No, yesterday. I don't know when it was released. Yesterday? Either way, I just got it. Okay, pre-ordered. Very cool deck. So now I'm going to pull, they're saying 2 from this deck. Stay in love, stay in strength. Don't be in fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. You all are well aware now what's going on, and you all are well aware of where the hell it came from, okay? You guys are more aware than anybody in this world of where this work came from and what exactly is happening. Do you hear me? Not one other person in this earth is aware of who did it, how it happened, or what exactly is happening. They're tuned. There are some that are tuned in enough, but even them, I'm seeing them still doing moon workshops and things. Okay, so it hasn't trickled over everywhere. All right, and so I want you guys to keep that in mind too. Like, there's no reason to be like, oh, they're not awake. It just hasn't fully made it to everybody. Okay, and there's a chunk of people that'll never fully get it. For the most part, everybody will eventually. Just stay away from doing moon work and stay away from astrology right now, because it's not accurate. It's not accurate. And be mindful if you're new, like if you are working with other healers, if they're not noticing shifts, run. Okay. If they think everything is still the same in the earth, do not work with them. I'll tell you that right now. It doesn't mean they're necessarily dark. They're just definitely not tuned in at this point in time. Because I do know of psychics that are. Okay. I've heard of psychics that are seeing it, that are seeing the changes within the crystals, within the core of the earth. Okay. Those are the ones you could be like, hey, yep. And they may not know where it came from or the full aspect of it. Okay. But they're really tuned in because they're able to see some of the changes. Does that make sense? And so I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody. I'm just telling you guys that's a good way to judge who you're listening to, okay? And if the information is accurate right now. And I can say that because, again, I've noticed some people tuning in. All right, so does the collective really need to know right now? They're actually saying 3 of these. These cards are really cool. I really like these cards a lot. And, you know, looking back, it's like I've lost a lot of people that were in that group that I came from because they weren't seeing it, and they still aren't seeing it. I know a handful of them won't come back, but a majority of them will. Okay, so we just give people time. All right, that's the best thing we can do. Ooh, okay. Now, mind you, I just got these cards. And I don't read the books all the way. I was reading a couple of my own that I pulled. So I'm just going to read to you what the cards are telling me. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Okay. Okay, you guys, this is no joke. And this goes right along with everything I just told you. Stranger curiosity. Now, this card is presenting to me as dark. Okay. We always, and I feel like this is pertaining also to some members in our group. So hopefully they all will receive this message to those that need to hear it. Stranger curiosity. Okay. We all as humans have a tendency to see everybody in light, don't we? Even if they're having some bad moments, we presume they're bad moments that will pass. Okay. Don't be too curious right now. Screw curiosity. That's what I'm going to say to you. Because again, The work that I did was designed to bring darkness through people. And I'm not kidding you when I tell you I had to block certain energies from the group recently. No joke. It got very ugly and nasty and dark. And I had no choice. And I've pulled this person out several times before, and I can no longer do it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I can no longer be like, oh, nope, I can do this. I can help. We have to be mindful where we anchor in our energy. It is just, there's no more time. We have no more time to be curious and to try to understand their darkness. Okay, so the best thing we can do is stay in that love and light. You can plant seeds and then run. Protect your damn energy. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to protect your energy right now. And if you see people who are not tuned in with the changes of the earth, give them time. I would not work with them right now. Okay, do you hear what I'm saying? No, not everybody's going to be fully tuned in, but there are psychics who are in tuned, and they are already seeing the crystals do things. They're already seeing the earth changing and the core changing. All they need to be able to recognize is something's different. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So they don't need to see everything. But if you're really tuned in, you're going to know something's different, right? Just like that science guy who sees the moon doing flips every night, who says the earth is no longer up and down. We are now tilted. Okay, just be careful. Stranger curiosity, and this is saying no. Remember the lightning protection too I did, you guys? That's also standing out here for me. Use it when needed. Okay, but you can always love everybody. Love them from a damn distance. You understand? Love them from a damn distance. Okay, now this one's really cool. This one excites me a lot because what do I come on for? I come on to teach you guys. So I also told you we've got some learning to do. I've got some knowledge to share and bring forth as we go into these higher energies, because how many people on earth do you know or who are going to understand Atlantis energy and Egypt energy and how to work with all this stuff combined? Okay, hollow bone, teachability. Look for those who are teachable and be teachable yourself. Okay, be open to change. This is going with that one card. I remember I'm hearing being open to change. Because remember, that's what this whole video is about. Stay away from the moon. Don't work with the moon anymore. And stay away from astrology until we shift further. Okay, because it's not aligned correctly anymore. Okay, and so some things have to change, but we all have to be in a teachable state. The hollow bone, it's like newness. We're on a new earth that we have to get to know. And right, and so look at this as, so this card is so beautiful. I love this card, you guys. I love this deck. You guys get any deck, I would recommend this one for sure. This bone is empty, and so look at it as now we are all empty vessels just being born on this earth. We've got so much to learn. Okay, and somehow I'm the one who's got a lot of knowledge to bring forth. And so as I do it, that's why I get excited. And I'm like, oh, look, I get to bring some forth. So forgive me for my excitedness. I can't help it. It's really cool. And this goes with our kiddos too, you guys. We have to undo some of the schooling, okay? Because a lot of their schooling is derived on the falsehoods. And so we have to also be mindful of that. This is not just for us. This is for our children. And at times even our parents and our loved ones, and that's a part of the recovering humanity. We all need to be teachable, okay? Remain in the teachability. Remain in the I don't know. If they're not seeing any newness at all, I just wouldn't go to them, okay? And I'm not one to say don't go to people. And I would never tell you guys just come to me. Just watch who you go to. They just need to be a little open and a little in tune to that things are different. What are they bringing forth? Pay attention to those things, okay? Because again, I did the work to raise the darkness. And so true colors are coming out for people, okay? Some of them, a majority of them will come back, okay? Just because, remember in my last workshop, they talked about, for those of you who did it, they talked about Prometheus brought forth the fact that we're going to bring more lightness. Not all dark is dark, okay? But some dark is. And some people chose to anchor into darkness, even if they weren't dark before. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Some people still chose to anchor into that, even though maybe they shouldn't have. And we have to be willing to just be teachable and be open and give them space. And if they go, we have no choice on that, right? So just be mindful of where you go. Be mindful of who you're paying attention to. Can they tell the earth is tilted and anything's different? Especially if they're psychic. Hello, right? Like, All right. And then this one is really cool. Remember I said to you, and this goes right in what I'm saying, be careful who you tune into. If they can't see it, maybe they refuse to hear the call. Okay. Dream thief, refusal of the call. Some people chose to not do it. Some people chose, we can't say the wrong way because it's what they chose, but it doesn't mean you want to go with them. Just because as healers and people of the light, we tend to see that people can all be good and we want to save everybody. No, you cannot. That's not our job. You can plant seeds, which we've done. There's just no time left. Okay. So as the shift is occurring, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see I've had to block people out of our stuff. I've had to accept things myself. Some people refused the call. I know light workers that didn't hear a word I said, treated me like crap in the end, still got a vaccine, shunned me, you know. And again, some of them will come back because not all darkness is dark. Others chose beyond that. Okay? Does that make sense? And this is such a beautiful, and look at the fire kind of just burning the bird away. They just refuse to hear the call. And that reminds me of my neighbor, you guys. I spent a whole year trying to wake him up and he kept calling me crazy, but we had a contract. We met for a reason. He opened my heart space because nobody else really could. And I was supposed to heal him and wake him up. And all he did was call me crazy and go deeper and deeper into darkness. And even to where strangers that I knew that didn't even know I knew him, had never heard of him, were like, who's this person? And I would have to be like, are you sure this is what you want? Okay. And he just refused to hear the call. That's absolutely the case too right now. So please be mindful who you're anchoring into, who you're following, who you're listening to, and who the hell's healing you. Okay. Any questions? Are we good? Yes. No. Okay. So Angela, no. Numerology is different. Numbers are very powerful. They're very magical. And I've talked about them several times. Okay. And still our birth chart is there. Okay. There is just some shifting. And so until they kind of align it all the way, just be mindful of following anything astrology right now. But numbers are magic. Okay. So look at the fact of what they did to number 13. Friday the 13th, they made it dark. They made people afraid. They made people think it was all bad. Okay. There's a reason they did that. And that's because it was a very powerful number. Look at the things I do. 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3. We were born on a certain day for a reason. Keep the numbers. The numbers I don't think are going to change, other than the negative aspect of them that they placed on them will fall. Okay. Some people still use them for darkness. That's their choice, and that will bite them in the ass. Just stay out of it. So numbers are good, but I would definitely worry about the alignments of the planet and what they mean in your houses right now. They're not the same. They're just not, because they're in the beginning of this video, we talked about this guy. Okay, please watch the beginning of this video, Angela, please. It's very important for you especially. Like, you can even ask Pamela. I even talked about you this morning because I'm like, I have to tell her. This guy talks about in this video that I played earlier how the moon is shifted. Okay, or the earth is shifted, and now every night the moon is doing cartwheels, which it's never done. And the poor guy is kind of going crazy, even though he's seeing it. He's got the proof. Everybody's saying he's nuts, and it's stressing him out. And I wish I could call him. Like, I really do feel that way, because I can make him feel better, right? Which is my goal with all you guys. He's absolutely not crazy, and he's one guy I would follow, even though he cusses a lot and probably whatever. He's cool. And so again, right, not all dark is dark, but not all light, not all things that present as light are light. And don't get curious and try to play into it. Don't get curious and feel sympathy for it right now, because that can cause you to go down. Okay. And I'm saying this because I absolutely had to block energy from the group. Okay. And this is somebody I've pulled back a few times, and I can't do it this time anymore. It was time. Boom. Spirit tells me to do things for a reason. I do them for things to be shown, and it surely was shown. Okay. So don't be curious and thinking that right now I'm going to put all my energy into this person and help them pull out of it. You ain't got time. Okay. They're anchoring in where they want to anchor in, or they will come back without you helping them. Okay. It's on them. That's karma. It's like that saying, if somebody treats you like shit, let it be their karma. You do that by ignoring it. You do that by not responding with shit. Okay. Don't make their karma your karma. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Super important right now. And do not, yes, Angela, yes. And this is why I was like really eager to bring this on. We are feeling it. I'm feeling out of sorts. I wake up at 1 o'clock like, okay. I feel the earth. If you guys don't notice the work I do, I feel the earth like crazy. I'm very sensitive to it. And so I will wake up going, my sinuses are a mess. I have headaches like crazy. All of these symptoms. Okay. I'm breaking out like crazy. I'm hungry as hell for food that is just not healthy for me, which I'm trying to combat that. I've been eating greasy food like crazy. I'm like, what the heck? I wake up at 1 o'clock and eat a damn piece of pizza. And I'm like, no, the weight I just lost, I'm going to put it back on. It's nuts. Our bodies are being affected. Our minds are being affected. Okay. And that brings me back to this card. Being mindful of where our thought processes are going. It's like the darkness knows it's about to fall, and it's trying to tether in any way it can. Okay. And Roger too. It's like, Roger, don't get curious about, well, California's never gone that far before. We've had nonstop 2.0s, but that's normal. Okay. Today it was getting up higher too. And then again, this gentleman, they've all been predicting, and because it's not happening when they're predicting it too, they're losing confidence in themselves. Don't do that. Are they aware that I changed time? No, but there's proof of that too. Okay. So Angela, there's proof in here about the time moving. It goes with the time I did my workshop. Don't tune into the moon. That is one thing I would say, never touch again. I would say that, never touch or work with the moon again. Okay, that will help the process. It's just a false negative pull. It was designed to control time in such a way to the point where it would control our cycle. It would control when we can have babies. It would control how short our lifespan was. And that's why we would be so sensitive to it. It was designed with a magnet to babies. And basically, you could look at it like a magnet that sucks the life out of us. Really. So I would say, especially now that there's proof with what the moon's doing and where the earth is, just don't touch it. Okay. There is still healers doing work with the moon. And I'm like, I just wouldn't personally do that workshop. Okay. Doesn't mean you need to go tell others don't. If you feel the need to tell them don't, and listen, good. If they don't listen, don't worry about it. In time, everybody's going to get it. If everybody was exposed to everything, they'd all probably go insane, and that's counterproductive. Okay, because this is a lot. And the reason why you guys are hearing me is because you've witnessed it all, right? You've witnessed this for the whole entire year, and now we're getting proof. So Angela, I'm going to be a little bit offensive to that. Where is God in all of this? I work with God, sunshine. This is God's doing, okay? This is all God's doing. There's nothing wrong with eliminating the darkness. Like, that is actually a beautiful thing to do. Eliminating the falsehood of time is a good thing to do. Bringing about Atlantis was a gift for the earth. If you wanted to stay with the way things were going, you were going to be mandated to take that vaccine, which they're starting to do. You were going to lose all rights very quickly, more than you already had lost. And Lord knows what would have happened to the earth, because each workshop, I was informed, it would have been worse. So rest assured, he's with us every day in every way. Okay. Again, you can look at it as how many times have people cried for help? How many times have they sent people down? What did they do to Jesus? They tortured his ass and killed him and hung him on a cross. How much of that you want to believe is up to you. Be careful with the Bible. Some of it is a little bit based in fear. However, what did they do to so-called witches in Salem? They torture them and burn them. Every time help came in, the energy was so dense on the earth, all it did was shift power to a more negative energy. This is true bringing heaven to earth. That's that video I talked about. One of the very first videos I did, I talked about as above, so below. That's not darkness. That is God's light. Okay. I'm not normal. Not everybody can move planets. Here's your proof. This one was done the day I did my workshop. I can't make that up. It was after I did my workshop that he did this video. All of it is showing you. And so if you think for a second God's not with us, he is very much so with us. This is his doing. This is the Galactic Council's doing. This is Prometheus. I don't know if you watched that video, but he is the God of humanity. He is the God of empathy. Otherwise, just wipe everybody out and start all over, right? Leave a handful of people like they did with the boat. What the hell is the boat? I don't read the Bible. There was always a reason I never read the Bible. The new Bible is coming. I'll be glad to read that. The freaking boat, right? They called a few animals on there, a few people, and then everything else flooded. Okay. This is actually way more beautiful, and not everything's going to flood, and not everything's going to go away. And everybody has a chance to create their own reality. That's how God really is. God doesn't do anything hurtful to anybody. The only people that are going to be affected in the worst way are the ones that designed it that way, right? If you charted out your whole life, you pick when you die. That's what astrology is. You charted it out. You designed your life. You chose to be a part of this ascension. You chose to be paying attention to me, who is you all have information before the rest of the world. And now there's proof. Okay. Look at it that way. Noah. Thank you, Donita. Noah. Yeah. In the boat. And so only a handful of people and the rest of the world was wiped out. Okay. I mean, they could have done that, right? But it's a beautiful chance to ascend into glory, ascend into abundance in the real light. How can you do that if you're still surrounded with people who are going to kill you and rape you and kidnap all our kids and shove them through the Eisenhower tunnels and do testing on people and want to turn you all into zombies? You know, that's what they talk about. It's being shown by other people now, not just me. It's like all over the internet. It's all over YouTube. Michael Jaco's tapped into that. Now they're talking about zombies on the White House website, or I don't pay attention to it all, but it's out there for you to look at. And so if you think for a second that God's not involved in the shift, I would definitely remove some negative thought space there. Okay. Be careful where you anchor into. I am not dark. Okay. You think anything dark would be able to come and do this kind of changes to the moon and the earth? No, not at all. Not at all. Plus, I can't lie, cheat, steal, it eats at me. Like, I don't resonate darkness. Okay. He's very much so with all of us. And it's all going to be okay. I even channeled that one thing that said, not every, some people will go, some people will stay, and some of us will never know life this way. Okay. Some people never will fully get it for years and years to come. Consciousness is going to slowly rise. Okay. If it happened all at once, too many people would go insane. They would. I fully believe that. So everything is in God's time. Everything is in universal time, not in our time. Okay. The tsunami things are very real. I still see that. I still see changes in tides coming in through San Francisco. I know they cut off life support to California. It was very corrupt. It was very dirty. All of the exposures are still coming. And that's a part of the recovering humanity, okay? Not just everything flooding and half the world dying. That's not what it's about at all. The only things that are going to be removed are the things that don't belong here, okay? You're going to see them more and more and more. That's why darkness is rising. And don't try to paint its colors, okay? It's very real, and it's very much so relevant and rising all around us. And I've had to even deal with the energies on my own stuff, and it's just what it is. Some of it's heavy, right? And that's where the angel of strength comes in. God is not all like, God does not determine, I'm going to make you suffer, okay? That's what the energies of the earth were, and that's what's changing, okay? In order to do that, we had to do what I did, all right? And that's what I've been saying through all of these videos. So it's a very good thing. It really is. But now there's proof. So Angela, I encourage you to watch these videos. And I encourage you to really question why you would think God's not with us. I mean, look at all the darkness that's being eliminated. Look at the exposures that are going to be coming. Would you have wanted to stand or Biden? I wouldn't. That would be scary to me. That would be when I would be like, why is God non-existent? Like, why are they going to let this continue to happen? You know, look at all the control they had. Just wait until it's all eliminated and you're going to be able to go, that's freedom. Wait until you get a taste of what real freedom is. Okay. Some of it we will see in our lifetimes, and the rest of it will come after. It's a time thing. It takes time for people to wake up. It takes time for the darkness to be eliminated, and so on and so forth. Again, look at it as high vibration, low vibration. Look at it light and dark, right? Instead of heaven and hell. God doesn't like that. Anytime I say evil, I get like they don't like that. It's either light or dark, okay? And so God's very much so has his hand in this. That's who I work for. That's who I went to when I was hypnotized. Boom. When I did my own Akashic records, boom. That was the first time I seen him. He's energy. He's the collective energy of everything. He's the creator of all that is. He truly is. And when I asked today who I am, I finally got part of the gods of time, which makes a lot of sense. Okay. So I'm not just a starseed. I'm somebody who can move damn planets. Oh, oh, sweetheart. Okay, so that makes me feel a little better, Angela. I was like, wait, whoa, no, not another. I'm not losing another one. Like, I was like, no. So, you know where you're getting it from? It's work. It's work, sunshine. It's work, and it's kind of hard for you to avoid it, right? And I got chills as I said that. It's absolutely work. But Angela, you're very much so connected to that moon. And I want you to actually do like a cord cutting ritual with the moon. Does that make sense? Do some major work releasing the energy of the moon. Oh, how cool. He's a sorcerer. Oh, well, maybe he is. And so just do everything you can to just, but I would start with cutting off the energy of the moon. Did you do the meditation to eliminate the false concept of time too? That might also help. And then just what you can do is a specific bubble that I like to do is that even when they come into your space, anything they put at you goes right back to where it came from. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's a hard one to do. The day it was done with my mom, it was a hard pill for me to swallow, even though I know now she tried to kill me quite a few times in the womb and so on and so forth. It's super important. It's like that whole evil eye thing, which I don't like to touch. I won't touch it even for good. So I don't recommend that. But people use it to manipulate and put dark out and things of that nature. The darkness is very real. People deal with it. One person in our group did. I know because I've seen it. I felt it. So you just have to be very careful. Dark energy is very much so real and people still use it. And so what I would do is put up a bubble in such a way it's kind of like a white reflector, not a mirror. I don't like mirrors. There's something about mirrors that make me feel negative as well. Like people would do the mirror around you where it reflects onto you. I don't like that one. There's something about it that bothers me. But I do like a white energy bubble, and it's like it just, the darkness cannot penetrate it. Okay. So you can come around them, but it's like almost like the words don't you can't hear a certain tone from them, and the light can only go in so far. Okay. And then it does unfortunately bounce back to where it came from. Okay. So set the intention that any negative energy is coming my way, go right back to where they came from. All right. And put that bubble up and do it before you go to work and do it before you go home. Yeah. And so there's going to be a lot of earthbound people still here. They're just, it's going to take a while for everybody to wake up. And there's another video that I had too, that eventually the moon could just explode. Like, it's losing its power already. It's not a necessity. It was a falsehood. Okay. The stars are very real. The earth is just moved in alignment, and there's proof in this video of that now. And that's why we have to just wait for astrology. I know there's changes coming forth with it, so it's not going to always be false. Okay. But we just got to get through this shift, because I wish, and I said this today to somebody too, it sucks, right? Like, it's unfair, and I don't like using that word, and as I have to like eliminate that one too. It's not about fair. People have to see a little more darkness before they can start seeing the light. Okay. And so now all of a sudden Biden's like, oh, we're changing taxes. It's going to be the largest tax hike ever in history. All right. That was published a day or two ago. Oh, we're taking guns away. That was published a day ago or so. Coincidence it goes with that shooting? I don't know. Something about that shooting feels a little off to me. Not that it didn't happen. It just, who was it really that did it? Like, can the energies penetrate people in that way? Yes, they can. Okay. So just be very mindful. Okay. And the best thing we can do right now is just a constant reflection of light. And so just a constant reflection of light, stay in the love, cleanse your energy. Angela, it is important because you do go expose yourself to a lot every day. But the biggest thing you can do right now, Angela, is cut your tie from the moon, please. Let's cut our ties from the moon. That's what I would do. And maybe that might be my meditation that I put through. That's usually guided by spirit. Okay. I love this, actually. White reflective bubble. That's right, Donita. That's right. I don't like the mirrors. It feels negative to me. But the white reflective mirrors absolutely work, or the white reflective light absolutely works. And then it allows me to still, you know, and spirit has a way of helping too with that. Okay. And so keep your vibration high. Super important too is do a vibrational check. Okay. What are my thoughts? What are my words? Oh shit, my vibration's low. I have to do it too. Okay. I have to do it too, you guys. It's affecting me as well. I woke up going, oh my God, like, I hate you, God. Like, you know, like, it's crazy. It is. And the only thing I wish is that some of the shit would shift. Like, God, you know, like, people are starting to not believe me. It's on them. If they don't, I can't help that. You know, if it's just, it's sad. And I can't wait until people actually can see, oh, they were not good people. And wow, you know, like, they weren't lying. I feel like I've been run through a strainer, to be quite honest with you. And so I've had some conversations with God myself. Like, damn it, how dare you? Like, no guy is gonna want me. Everybody's like totally afraid from me. They run from me. They treat me like shit. Like, it really sucks. How do I meet a guy? There was a guy who was supposed to fix my car that I knew from the time I was probably 12 years old. I haven't seen him in years. Gave him one video off my channel and he ran like a motherfucker. Like, excuse my language, but it's true. Like, it's rough. And so I can't wait until some things shift and then people can see, oh, they're not crazy, right? So I'm with you there. I really am with you there. And right now the darkness is super heavy and we're all being affected by that. And for those who are tuning into the moon, just be wary of that. I wouldn't do it any further. I do know somebody who's quite well aware of things. She was doing Egyptian healings, and now I see a full moon healing again. And I'm like, So I think it'll be a trickle down effect. Okay. And again, it's not like everybody's dark. Just don't play with it. You do, Angela, you do. And I was feeling angst with that. Like, this is why I was like, I mentioned your name in this video. Watch it from the beginning. I'm like, I told Miss Pamela this morning, talking to her. I'm like, I got to tell Angela, there's something with you in the moon. You've got to do a cleansing and cut yourself from it big time. Big time. It's part of a negative pull on you. And so, yeah, I would definitely do that. Okay. Super awesome. Like, this is all really exciting stuff. It really is. And there's nothing to be sad about. It's actually very positive. And just know that you guys are well aware of this stuff before the rest of the world. And now we have proof. And that makes me feel better, because now I'm like, I'm not crazy. To all those a-holes who keep saying I'm crazy, wake up, right? Like, look at the videos, look at this video, look at that. Now there's proof. There's scientific freaking proof. And so I'm happy. To me, that's such a blessing. And it makes me feel lighter. And it makes me be reassured to the fact that I know not everybody's going to die, because the Bible says it's the end of days. And it's very scary if you look at it in that light. Okay, so let's be sure to stay out of that fear and just kind of touch everybody with light. Like, oh, sunshine, it's going to be okay. Like, what are you anchoring into, right? But don't get caught up. Don't be too curious. Well, can I fix them? Like I see light in everybody. Be careful, okay? I've been saying that for a year. Be careful where you anchor in your light. And again, you know, some people chose sunshine, okay? So I know beyond a shadow of fact, I can see true colors. And I know, I will say this, I don't know if I feel like they watch some of my videos, so I hope still that they would hear. But I know somebody that was supposed to wake up. They had a gift in them and they still chose. No matter what I did, and it bothers me, but it's not on me. But you see how much I love people. It still bothers me. And they kept saying I was crazy. And so the more proof, I'm like, oh, and they just refused the call. All right, people can do that. That's free will, right? And that's what karma's all about. I always knock these things over. I'm still going to move my room over, but I just haven't done it. And I love this one, okay? Be that hollow bone, okay? Be that hollow bone. Be ready to absorb all the beauty and the newness, all right? But we can't do there if we're stuck in fear, okay? Or the fact that this isn't coming. It didn't happen in our normal time. Time's not normal. Keep that in mind, you guys. Right now, time is far from normal, okay? And if you think it is, it's not. That doesn't mean I don't have to be at work at a certain time, right? I mean, that sucks because we still do. It doesn't mean that certain aspects of time are not very much. I lost a card, I'll have to find it. Are not very much so relevant because they're still there. But if you anchor in too far to what time used to be, you're going to find sometimes that it's not going to work out for you, okay? So be mindful of that too. I loved this video. On that note, it's 8:30. I feel like I neglected my doggy and my kiddos because I did work all day. And then right away I came on to do this. Oh, thank you, Donita. You rock too, sunshine. Very much so. I love you guys lots, and I will be on again soon. This weekend I'll be free, kid free. No more stuff to do, because then I just wait for my test to come through. So I will do a couple lives this weekend. Okay. And for those of you who are doing my retreat, we're doing it on the 10th because I forgot Easter too. And so those that do that retreat that are on my Patreon, during that healing, I will do a bunch of messages for you guys. Okay. Right now I got to protect my energy a little bit too. So time is absolutely abnormal, Roger. You should just come to Colorado, Roger. Right? I feel safe here, even though it's like winter all over again. There's certain places that are pretty safe. Okay, so keep that in mind. Pay attention to the fault lines. But again, California is the one I see the most that has no life support to it. Okay. And time is definitely not normal, but think of it this way. It's going to extend lifespans. Oh, you're so welcome, Angela. I love you lots. Okay. And if you need help with, maybe we'll see what the meditation brings forth, right? They always give us what we need. So I'll try to keep popping those out as much as possible and reconnect us to the earth. You guys, grounding is easy. I don't have to shove my cords down to her anymore. Just literally talk to her, stand on her and let your energy go down. And man, it was a beautiful connection. I'm sorry about the wonky screen. So much love to all of you. See, I don't even want to go. I missed you guys. I miss you guys a lot. So much love, and I will be on again soon. Okay. Thanks for watching and enjoy the proof. Watch it again. Love and light, even when it's hard. Bye, you guys. Love ya.